We all become journalists for noble reasons, I hope. We want to expose the truth, share untold stories and shed light on human rights issues, all while uncovering secrets accurately. As George Orwell said, journalism is printing something that someone else does not want printed. But sometimes things can go wrong simply by us being there on the scene. And that's what we're going to talk about today, field reporting and its many, many perils. This is GMF Compact. And here's another quote for you. Philip L. Graham, former president and publisher of the Washington Post, famously said, "Journalism is the first rough draft of history." Well, journalists do show up to cover all kinds of events, to write that first draft of history, if you will. This can shape the way things play out, which is why we must be mindful of the ways that we, as journalists, behave around others when reporting. So here are some crucial tips. Number 1, always remain independent, objective, and unbiased. The flashiest story isn't necessarily the most truthful one. And just because you can get the best footage by focusing on a particular angle doesn't mean that's the whole story. So make sure you always pay attention to all aspects instead of inadvertently skewing the narrative in any particular direction in your report. When you're out on the field and things are happening all around you, it can sometimes be hard to remember these basics. Number 2, ensure everyone's safety while reporting. I hope I don't have to tell you not to run into a plume of tear gas, but there are many other considerations which might be less obvious in field reporting. Before becoming a roving reporter, make sure you get security training to make the best judgment calls out there. Don't stand in anyone's way. We all know, for example, that mass gatherings can lead to stampedes and other awful events. You don't want to be the cause of that. Equally, never be in the way of emergency services. For example, when an ambulance has to wait for you to clear the scene so they can get to an injured person. Please, don't be that guy. Number 3, think twice about what images to show. Finally, please make a sound judgment call on showing people's faces in your report. Can your reporting harm them? For example, if you decide to show pro-democracy protesters in Iran or the faces of people fleeing conscription in Russia, will authorities be able to use your images to identify those individuals? And can this be used against them in a court of law?
Where are the armed men who come in to take the protesters away? Right to jail, right away.
Ensuring safety also means this. If we don't pay attention, we can cause more harm than do good by simply doing our jobs. And remember that it is not our job to deliver sensationalist images or bend over backwards to deliver sexy headlines. Our job is to share the truth. And the truth is always out there.